Anthony and Victoria bring you this AMI This Week shortcut.
Victoria, have you ever been to Perth, Ontario?
Actually, I have. Two of the CNIB guide dog instructors live there. It's a cute little town.
Nice. Well, I used to go camping there myself. And for those who don't know, Perth is a small town about an hour west of Ottawa, and it was established in the early 1800s.
Oh boy, I feel a history lesson coming on.
Well, you'd be right. The Ottawa team recently drove through the town and stumbled across two interesting parts of its history: the site of the last duel in Upper Canada and a mammoth cheese. Here is Ottawa's Shelby Travers to tell us more in this latest edition of Roadside Attractions.
With a population of only 6,000, Perth may be a small town, but
I always think of Perth as a bit of a hidden gem.
the two events in its past that help make it a hidden gem? The creation of a mammoth cheese and the last fatal duel to ever take place in Upper Canada. At the Perth Museum, Catherine Jameson is the Heritage Tourism Manager for the town of Perth.
Dueling was a common way to resolve conflict at the time. So the last fatal duel in Upper Canada actually happened right here in Perth on the shores of the Tay River in what is now known as Last Duel Park.
It took place on June 13th, 1833. The reason for the duel? Elizabeth Hughes.
It was over a woman, over a love triangle.
I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that the two men involved were young lawyers. The first lawyer's name was John Wilson, and the other was
Robert Lyon. He was sort of a flirt, and he used to flirt with a young school teacher named Elizabeth Hughes. So the two men pulled out their pistols, lined up, aimed, took fire, and they both missed.
Both were apparently relieved. However, they were pressured into doing it again.
Both men had a second. Robert Lyon's second, he wouldn't have it. The rumor has it he might have had a crush on Elizabeth as well. So they took aim. Fired. And unfortunately for Robert Lyon, he fell. He's now buried 200 meters away at the old burying grounds. John Wilson went on to have a promising law career, and he did end up marrying Elizabeth Hughes.
The pistols used in the last fatal duel are on display at the museum.
They're based on a Spanish influence, the design. They're about 15 inches in length. They come in a set, the pistols do, so they're matching, and they come in a wooden box. The handles are a dark brown polished wood. The barrel's sort of hexagonal in shape. There's fauna etched into the trigger guard.
Fast forward 60 years to 1893. There's the Mammoth cheese.
The Mammoth cheese was the most talked about and most written about exhibition at the Chicago World Fair in 1893, and it was actually made right here in Perth.
A replica of the Mammoth cheese is located not far from the site of the last duel.
The areas of the Crystal Palace, that's where they do farmers market, so it's a great spot for it, and it's where they originally did the weigh-ins. So the cheese is set up in a big steel drum as it was, which is about 9 feet across, 7 feet tall, and 28 feet in diameter. And it's standing on a cart with metal wheels. The drum itself is painted a cream color, and it says Canada's Mammoth cheese on the front with the weight, and it's standing under a red structure.
The replica only weighs 3,000 pounds, which sounds like a lot. But the original weighed in at a whopping 22,000 pounds and was made from the milk of 10,000 cows. What kind of cheese was it?
It's cheddar cheese.
It was made to promote the Canadian cheese industry at the time. The cheese garnered massive attention internationally when it fell through the floor at the fair. But that's not all it did there.
It did very well, scored 95 out of 100, and it was awarded a Medal of Distinction.
The medal is on display at the museum. So is something else.
Perth Museum actually has an original piece of mammoth cheese in the collection. It's probably about 3 centimeters long and 1 centimeter wide and about 1 centimeter thick. It's very, very dry, but it's quite old. And the Canadian Conservation Institute helped us create a storage container for it to try and keep it for as long as we can.
After 125 years, I think I'll leave the cheese on display.